And that might seem obvious, but I think it is first and foremost in building these relationships. You have to actually care about the people that you're serving. You have to care about the people who are in your world, in your community, and who are purchasing your products. You have to care that they're going to be successful and that you're the person to help them. And you have to actually care about them reaching the desired goal that they're coming to you for. Today on the show, I want to talk to you about something that is really important to me, and that is building relationships with my customers and my community. Sometimes it can feel a little bit tricky to be building relationships with people that you don't know in real life, who you only know online, and who you only interact with through emails or social media posts. And it can be a little bit of a struggle to build those deep relationships. So, this is something I've actually done pretty well in my business on both sides of my business, I think. And I just want to share with you today some strategies that have worked really well for me, some things that I've done behind the scenes so that in your business, you can be building these deep, valuable relationships too. I promise it really does make a difference. So, first, let's talk about why it is so important to have relationships with our community, with our customers, with these people who are in our world, in our little corner of the internet. So, one of the main reasons that this is so important is because we want to build that know, like, and trust factor that makes our customers feel more like they want to invest in this business. They relate to the person that they're purchasing from. They have that connection, and therefore they are more likely to spend money with this business versus another business that they don't really know anything about. And it also matters because if you truly want to make a difference in the world, it starts with those tiny relationships, one relationship at a time with the people in your community. There are a few things that I've done to prioritize this in my business that I want to share with you. First of all, I genuinely care about the people that I serve. And that might seem obvious, but I think it is first and foremost in building these relationships. You have to actually care about the people that you're serving. You have to care about the people who are in your world, in your community, and who are purchasing your products. You have to care that they're going to be successful and that you're the person to help them. And you have to actually care about them reaching the desired goal that they're coming to you for. But let's take some action to build the relationship on your side so that you can care about your customer. And I think the best way to do that is talking to your people in your community. Talk to your people, ask them questions, send out emails and say, reply to me with your answer to this question. Hear more about their lives and the things that they're struggling with as it relates to the topic of your business. Because I think once you hear more about them and once the people in your community, which of course is generally your email list, when you're hearing about the lives of those people and they become a real person and not just an email address, I think it makes a world of difference. I've had people in my community tell me the most incredible things about themselves, about their struggles learning with their child, and about the transformation that they've experienced using my products. And once you hear those things, I feel like you can't help but care about the people that you're serving and feel more confident that you are making a difference in their lives, which is just a huge game changer for any of us in business. I think genuinely caring about your people is first and foremost in building these relationships. People can tell if you're phony or faking it and don't really care about them. They can absolutely spot that. Even if it's just on the other side of a text-based email, they can spot if you're being phony about it. So take the time to genuinely care about the people that you're serving. And of course, realize that maybe the group of people that you select the first time out might not be the absolute audience that you want to serve forever. So bear that in mind. The second way that I build relationships with my community is that I talk to them often. And I mean almost all the time. On the kindergarten ready side of my business, I email my list just about every single day. Now, that's a lot if you're just starting out. Don't be intimidated by that. It is absolutely not a requirement to email your list every day. I think once a week is really the norm. So if you do more than that, then that is considered above and beyond. But I like to email my list every day. I like to keep in touch with them. I like to be top of mind for them. I like to show up for them so that when they think about helping their preschooler learn or getting their child ready for kindergarten, I am the thing that comes to mind for them. Me as a person, me as a business. That's what comes to mind when they're thinking about that because I'm in their inbox just about every single day with a resource or a tip or a strategy or a suggestion. I show up for them and it just is so much easier to build a connection when I'm doing that. And the third way that you can build strong relationships with your community is to truly be yourself and show up as yourself. So, this is probably by far the hardest thing on my list of 3 suggestions for you today because it's hard to be ourselves online, I think. There's such an opportunity to be a little bit different than we actually are, and it could feel a little bit uncomfortable to be truly ourselves in all of our silliness or maybe a little bit weirdness, our quirkiness, to let that show. But those are the things that actually make you a real person with a personality. And people are looking for real people that they can connect to online. No one is really looking for, at least I don't think they are, so let me know if I'm wrong about this, but no one is really looking for a polished, supermodel looking, perfect speaking, never makes a mistake kind of person to learn from. I'm certainly not looking for that when I am finding a business online. Instead, we want to learn from real people, real humans that we can relate to. We want to look at someone online and think, wow, that's a real person. I can relate to this person versus, wow, they seem way too fancy and polished for me. That's not the right person. Let me change the channel. And when we listen to someone, we want them to sound like a real human. We want them to talk like people actually talk. Episode 14 of the Teacher Biz podcast is all about the mistakes that I made when I was starting my first digital course. And I will tell you that one of them is that I was trying to speak perfectly in all of my course videos. That's bananas. No one's expecting that. No one is expecting you to speak in a way where you never make a mistake or correct a word or stumble or pause. No one is expecting you to be a robot. And oh my gosh, I mean, you can listen to that episode. It's episode 14, but I would just go back and re-record every single lesson if I said something a little bit silly or imperfectly or stumbled or smudged a word or something. I would restart the entire video because I didn't know how to edit yet at the time. And I would say it all over again. So don't do that. Don't try to be perfect and speak like a robot. And then also episode 10 of the Teacher Biz podcast is about stepping out in your business and overcoming the self-doubt so that you can show up in your business. So that's another one I recommend. But be yourself so that people can connect to you in a genuine way too. People will see little slivers of themselves in you when you do show up as yourself. And even if they're not exactly the same, you will remind them of a friend or someone that they've met, or they will just like that you are actually being yourself. This is a very hard thing to actually do, but if you do it a little bit at a time, one little step at a time, it will become so much easier to actually be yourself. And along with that, don't be afraid to turn on your camera and show your face. Now, listen, I was afraid to do that for years in my business. I did not like being on camera. I hated doing any kind of camera work. And to be perfectly honest, I think the reason is the same that it is for most of us. I don't like what I look like, and I think that's normal. I think most of us see ourselves on camera, and that's probably our first thought, especially when it's something like a Zoom where you're recording and looking at your own face as you record. By the way, I'm doing that right now, recording this podcast. I record inside Zoom. I pull up a meeting by myself and I look at myself while I talk into the camera. I've come such a long way, but it used to be that when I was recording this way, where I could see my face as I recorded, it was really hard for me because instead of thinking about my content, I was thinking about all of the things that I didn't like on the other side of the camera and picking myself apart inside of my head. Of course, that's embarrassing to share with you, but it's normal. And I think a lot of us do this. So I want to tell you, because if you are doing this too, here's the fix. When you find yourself sucked into those negative thoughts about showing up and showing yourself and picking yourself apart because of what you look like, please remember that number one, it's not about you. Number two, your person does not want you to look perfect. They want you to be a real human. And number three, you're not showing up because you're trying to show off what you look like. You are trying to show up to help the person on the other side of the camera. So whenever I do have any nervousness, any hesitation, any kind of doubt at this point, what I do is I think about the person on the other side of the camera that I am here to help. I think about you who is trying to start a business so you can completely change your life. And I know the information that can help you do that. So, my goodness, if I don't show up and teach you, what a disservice am I doing you? I am holding you back if I don't do that for you. So, I have to show up and be myself. And gosh, does that make me feel so much more comfortable doing it? Once I think about it that way, that matters so much more to me than whatever I look like on the camera. Take me as I am. This is what you get. I am here to help you. And I know that you care more about that than you do about whatever I look like. So, messy hair day, or my kids kept me up the night before. Life happens and I'm showing up anyway. And it'll be fine. You can do it too. If I can do it, you can do it too. I know that it's a mindset block to work through, but I also know you can do it. And in doing so, you will make such stronger relationships with your community that it will be more than worth it. Of course, my friend, this is how you build that know, like, and trust with your customer. That is so important. People spend money with people, with humans, with personal brands that they connect to on a deeper level. It's about so much more than those dollars coming into your business, but that also is a crucial part of it because businesses need actual dollars coming in order to stay afloat and be a business. And so that is a thing that matters. And if you can do it in a really genuine way that also supports the goals of your business, I think that is such a win-win. And there is absolutely no shame in that. So all day long, build those relationships with your people, show up for them. And over time, I promise it will get so much easier as you see the rewards of your efforts. Until next time, I'm cheering for you.